Good afternoon, everybody. It's Lynn, the Leather Bag Lady. How are you all today on this Monday morning or Monday afternoon? I was about to say morning, so I had to check my watch and it's like, holy Hannah, it is 10 to 1. But anyway, I'm getting a haircut Wednesday and it needs to be done. Anyway, let's get to today's bag. So many of my vintage bags, unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to look at it, are unbranded. And I guess that is just an attestament to the difference between how we purchase items, fashion items specifically today versus in our yesteryear. My opinion is back in the day, we purchased, or at least my parents did, we purchased for quality, not necessarily for branding, which is why I am presuming, again, my opinion based on what I come across in my purchasing of my stock and the examination that I perform on my items as I clean them, as I get them ready for photographing and sharing with you, is that if it's well made, that used to stand alone. That used to stand for itself. Again, in my opinion, that is no longer the case. So when I get a bag like this little beauty, it's actually not that little, which is completely unbranded, but so pretty in the simplest of ways, I just kind of chuckle a little bit because today, I mean, unless you are a lover of vintage in and of itself is not going to cut it. Now, because vintage has oftentimes an immediate visual cue for people, it almost doesn't need a brand, if that makes any sense. So, you're going to put this beautiful dark blue soft leather bag on your shoulder. There is nothing to say anything about where it was made, who made it, your kind of funky little styling accents there, which I love. This is just a very different way of connecting a simple shoulder strap to a bag. It just adds a bit of flair, I think. There are no differences in color. There is no accent colors, hardware colors or anything of that nature. Even the zipper is the same blue of the leather. It is just got a great little panel for the gusset on the bottom. There were some dry spots in the corners, but your bag lady has taken care of that. And then we get to this little kind of flap over, which is your closure. There is a magnetic, what does that say? Tawan, New York, it looks like. So maybe that's the only hint into where this bag has come from. There's no interior pockets. There's no pockets in there. Now, I've listed this bag as a 1980s. Could be a 70s, but I just think the size of it and the simplicity of it just kind of gives me an 80s vibe. Now, I guess that's kind of a crazy thing to say because, 80s was a very, very extravagant era. Lots of neons and lots of over-the-top hardware. I don't know. This could be a 70s bag, but to me, it just screamed 80s. So you take it for what that is worth. Nice back pocket, the velvet interior, which may be another telltale sign that it is actually a 70s bag. I just think it's too big for 70s. So that is today's item. It's a 16-inch strap drop, so it is not a crossbody bag. Mind you, if you were a Smurf, you might be able to get it crossbody. So that is today's item. I really, really like it. It is very reminiscent for me to my Carnig Man, Leather by Man. Just seems to be, now if it had a little dongle, you know, the little weighted piece like the bag I listed last week had, or the week before, I actually bought these two bags together. Yeah, no, that other bag had almost like a, I shared it with you in the video. There was just almost like a, not a chemical smell, but, you know, like maybe the, you know, the finish that they put on it had a little bit of an odor. It wasn't a musty, moldy, been in the garage for 15 years odor or anything like that. But this bag has absolutely nothing. I love the blue. I don't get a lot of navy blue, but I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I have hurt my back. I don't know. I woke up this morning and it was, you know, like a little painful, but it is getting worse to the point where I can't even take a deep breath in without it really, it's just right in here. So, oh my goodness me. I'm having a hard time moving around. My shifts this whole week have been canceled. Unfortunately, the facility where my clients live is in an outbreak. And it's kind of frustrating because I finally decided that I needed to take on some more hours because I wasn't earning enough money. And here I am. I had 2 shifts canceled last week and this whole week canceled. Part of me is like, maybe I should be looking for something a little bit more steady Eddie. But to be honest, I am hoping that I won't need that job for too much longer. I am, as I've shared with you numerous times over the last few weeks, I am ready and set to go to make this business of mine fly. And my friend Cynthia in California, she's like, girl, stop calling it a hobby business. It is about to take off. So Cynthia, I so appreciate you. You've had my back on many things that I've either not had the confidence innately to shout about, or when I had some customer issues and I wasn't quite sure how to deal with them, I reached out to you as a customer of mine, and you were so wonderful in giving me some direction. So I have big hopes for this, and I wasn't going to go to 2 shows a week with the shop at the shed until, you know, maybe the end of February. But I feel now that I have a week of not being anywhere but home, I'm going to start doing 2 shows a week. So I am going to launch Thursday. And now I've got to be careful because Pius is hoping to start with a weekend shift when he is back on the truck. But we really don't know how long that's going to take. So I'm hesitant because my 3 days a week in my shows will probably be, because our days off will be Tuesday, Wednesdays. So my go-to would have been Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But that is not going to work because our weekends are very much needed alone time together, and I don't want to cut into that in any way. I'm on my phone in the evenings as we are kind of debriefing our days as it is. So I don't want to cut into our weekend time. So I'm thinking that maybe I'll do a Thursday, Friday. And then, you know, the weekend does tend to see a little bit more traffic through things just because, you know, people are home and they're relaxing and scrolling and all that kind of thing. So I think this week I'm going to start with 2 shows. And like I said, getting that message this morning to say that there is nothing going work-wise for me this week has kind of given me a little bit of a kick in the pants. And yeah, because there's not a lot on there yet. I mean, I have made some sales, which I am so thrilled about, but there's not a lot to view yet. So until I start loading more bags, which means I have to do it within a sale, because the whole premise of my shop at the shed is that no one gets access to anything before anybody else. Does that make sense? So when I do a show, I drop 5 items. Everybody has access to those 5 items around about the same time. I do upload my video on Facebook before I do YouTube, because that was just the promise I made to myself, that this was only supposed to be a Facebook project. But I would be silly not to put it on to my YouTube and with my YouTube family. So that's what I do. And I think my technology will have to get a little better moving forward. As in, I mean that I may need to, I don't know, I may need to go to more of a camera than the phone. I'm not sure, because I am struggling to upload on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. And that's just me not knowing what I'm doing. So I'm sure there's probably a way I can do it on the computer, maybe. I don't know. I have to get better. But I'm so excited to get some of these bags listed. And I went thrifting this weekend. Woo! So, we ended up going to Sarnia to pick up my mom. And we decided that we're trying not to spend money willy-nilly, just because we do have some expenses coming up for the trailer, whatnot. We've already discussed that. But we do not see our living space as a relaxing sanctuary where we can enjoy each other's company and, soothe our souls from whatever crap has happened during the week and all that kind of stuff. We love our truck time. We love going on road trips. We love, taking adventures. We blend that with my thrifting. We blend it with going to Harley shops. It really just fits what we like to do. So we decided that we were going to pick up my mom and we were going to stay over in Sarnia. So we get halfway there. My mom calls and she says, you know what? Mom did not know we were coming. I'm going to stay another week. So we just looked at each other and went, all right, no problem. We carried on. I went to Value Villages in Ancaster, Brantford, London, Chatham, Sarnia. And I found a vintage Coach 1990 extra large Emily, I think it's called, or Ella, something like that, bucket bag. I just about flipped my lid. So, had no price on it. And actually, I'll tell you a story. It had no price on it that I could find. Pius is my price guy. So I was looking. I handed him this bag. I did not tell him what it was. He went and got a price, brought it back to me, $8.99. And I was like, oh my goodness me. That is the find of... It's been, I'm going to say, 3 years. At least 3 years since I have found a vintage Coach bag. So I was just ecstatic. Now, I really hadn't taken a good look at this bag at the time. I had checked the zipper to make sure the main zipper worked, but I hadn't looked for any other damage or whatever. Even a damaged Coach vintage bag for that kind of money, I'm going to take it, even if it was just to use the leather. So I brought it home and I started having a look at it this morning, and there was a price tag inside the pouch for $34. I didn't see it. I didn't know it was there. I just presumed it was unpriced. At $34, would I have bought it? I'm not sure. And then we get to the cash out and the girl says, oh, are you using your 30% off coupon? I'm like, what 30% off coupon? She goes, are you on our email list? I'm like, absolutely I am. I didn't get a coupon for 30% off. So she allowed me to use a coupon code or whatever that she had access to. So not only did I get it for $8.99, I got 30% off it. I am still floating on air. And I was explaining to my mom and my aunt that unfortunately, These days, that is what we are waiting for. I do not have access to the purses that my colleagues have. Even Miss Philly in Winnipeg has access to luxe brands that I just don't see. Whether or not it's because the footprint of my population and where I live is not, there are certain cultures that are a little bit more into, in my opinion, I don't know this for sure. This is just my observations throughout my years on the planet. There are certain cultures who are a little bit more brand savvy, a little bit more luxe aware than others. So, like Hamilton, God bless Hamilton, a good plastic guest bag is the go-to. I am not finding vintage Coach. I'm not finding Gucci. I'm not finding Prada. I'm not finding Veneta or whatever it is, Bottega Veneta bags in my thrift stores. Not at all. So I wonder how successful the It's Hadrians and the Purse Trip-ins and would be if they lived in my neck of the woods. Yes, we have. I know Miss Philly has made a trip to Southern Ontario and thrifted. Years ago, she did a video with that. But our thrift stores are so picked over. And, that could be the same everywhere. I'm not sure. I don't thrift beyond the one thrift store I go to in Burlington, because you get into the Oakvilles, you get into the, Mississaugas, and they're so picked over because everybody else thinks the same. The incomes are higher, the property prices are higher, so people therefore must have more money. In actual fact, I think it actually works the opposite. They're using all their money to live, as we all are today. Let's face it, the economy is crap everywhere. So finding that one find of a lifetime is something that it kind of fuels my fire. It kind of gets me all excited again. And I found a couple of fossils. I found a Coach. I found a few Derek Alexanders. I pretty well stuck to my guns that those were the brands. I found 2 or 3 that were a little different, but not my brands. But they weren't crazy expensive. So it's just the luck of the draw. And I will never, ever, ever do one of our road trips and not thrift. Let's face it, that's the fun part. That's the fun part. And I also love doing this part as well. I'm watching a keynote speech that Gary Vaynerchuk is giving to Sigma Group, which is actually based in Oakville here in Southern Ontario, Canada. And it was 10 months ago. But dang, if I'd known he'd been there, I would have snuck in. But anyway, and he is talking about, if you are not good at doing this in either voice, written, or what was the other one? The written word, the spoken word, and the visual. So he has an option where you can speak but not be seen, or write and not be heard or seen, or the best of both worlds, which is this. And I guess I am really very blessed that I find this very easy to do. And I always have. So I guess I'm kind of lucky in that regard. So that kind of was our weekend. We got back yesterday about 3:30 without my mom. She is staying an extra week. And as it turns out, I think my dad's going to go on Thursday this week and bring her back. So, but he's not 100% sure. So we'll see. We don't care. We'll go back. Who cares? We so enjoy our time in the truck, listen to our music and chitty chatting and no distractions. And Pius drives for a living. So, it is not a bother to him. And the truck is so comfortable and it's not a problem. So anyway, where are we? What time are we up to? I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do my chore today. My back is so sore. But here we go. Let's see what I get today. Oh my goodness me, my poor back. All right. Oh, here it is. What have I got? Oh, no, there's 2. let's put that one back. So the bathroom upper cabinets today. Not sure I'll be able to get up and down the little step ladder to do that, but I will try. So that is my chore for today. I've decided that I am going to keep doing this method for some other things that I am struggling to get cracking with. One of which is visiting the retirement homes that I used to do my shows at. It is such a captive audience. They know who I am. They know the quality of bags I bring to the table. It would be absolutely asinine for me not to share with them that I am now online and I am hosting my shop at the sheds. And it's just a way for them to continue to shop with the Leather Bag Lady, albeit in a different way. I would go to my retirement homes twice a year. I would go once in the summer months, once in the winter months, and hair falling out, and give everybody an opportunity for a winter bag, a summer bag. And the idea is because you're not spending $300 on a bag, you're spending maybe, $60, $70, then it's not so painful to replace that bag. You pass it down to somebody else if you are done with it for the season or whatnot. I had always wanted to kind of come up with like a rental exchange, but it's just, there's not enough profit in it. And the bags are the bags. I mean, once you've had a bag for a while, you've used it. I mean, unless you absolutely love it and you know that next year you'll use it again, you're over it. You're done. That is why buying bags that are pre-loved is just the way to go. You have very little financial commitment to it. And if you're done with it, you're done with it. Give it to your aunt, give it to your niece, give it to your neighbor and let them enjoy it. And, move on, buy something else. Maybe you want to try a different color. Maybe you want to try fringes. I'm just looking what I've got up here. Maybe you want to try patchwork. Maybe you want to try something that's nylon. Been making a concerted effort to pick up a lot of nylon bags just so that people have a choice. As we get older, maybe the leather is too heavy or whatnot. So there's lots happening, everybody. Lots happening. So I will speak to you tomorrow. Because I'm not going anywhere. And have a great day, everybody. Bye.